Surviving Mars is an off-world city-building simulator game where you and your sponsoring nation work together in an attempt to colonize Mars. Hello and welcome, I am HenryPlays and this is my review of Surviving Mars. This video is part of a series called Games Pass Reviews, where I'll find new games on the Xbox or PC Games Pass and review them to see if it's a game that suits you. I promise I'll help you find your new favourite game on the Games Pass. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday, so don't forget to subscribe so that you can find your new favourite game. On the screen right now are the timestamps for the different sections of the video. We'll start off with a description of the game before going into my review and ending with a final conclusion. Thank you all for watching and on with the video. Now, as I said earlier, Surviving Mars is an off-world city-building simulator game where you and your sponsoring nation work together in an attempt to colonize Mars. Now, that may sound like a very taxing and comprehensive mission, but don't worry, the game will hold your hand every step of the way with its thorough and optional tutorial missions, along with constant tips that you can disable in the options if you feel like it. Once you accept your mission, you and your loyal army of drones and rovers must begin by making the planet somewhat habitable. You must start by gathering and pooling your resources along with setting up a sustainable power grid. In case you didn't know, humans are not able to breathe on Mars, so in order to colonize the planet, the game lets us create our own environment and atmosphere by building habitable domes. You must also keep your colonists alive, meaning constant oxygen, water, food, and electricity. But of course, these humans aren't just going to lounge around, they're going to be put to work on the different collectors, harvesters, farms, and structures that you have. This game not only teaches us how to colonize Mars, but how to make slave labor look like people have a choice. I'm only joking, they don't have a choice. Colonists have specialities that we can take advantage of. We can put the botanists in charge of farming and nature, the scientists in charge of research and lab work, and the geologists in charge of mineral extraction.
Great success!
Each speciality is very self-explanatory and quite easy to find the best use for them. At the end of the day, we have to make the most of all the resources that we have, and humans are a resource. They'll provide labour and will do whatever we tell them to do. The game is incredibly in-depth. The tech systems and upgradability of all your structures seems to be never ending. In a good way though. The game also has storylines called mysteries, which adds various events to the colony, including plagues, war, rival corporations, AI revolts, alien contact, and others. Rare metals can also be exported back to Earth for more funds. However, landing sites can also have various natural disasters like meteor storms, cold waves, and dust devils to increase the difficulty. Like always, I'll start off by talking about the positive points before moving on to the negative ones. Firstly, the tutorials in this game are absolutely fantastic. There are 5 in-depth tutorials that cover all of the important and mandatory aspects of the game. They tell you how to start up your colony, request resources, and build up your infrastructure. This is an incredibly welcome feature in a strategy and simulation game, especially when there's additions like Europa Universe, like EU4 that don't even have a tutorial at all. Not all tutorials make you feel confident enough to go and play the game on your own afterwards, but this game definitely does. Another positive point about this game is that the tips and hints are incredibly useful, especially if you're stuck on what to do next. Sometimes when you play a colony or city builder game, you get to a point where you don't really know what to do next. If you have the tips and hints enabled, the game will tell you what you should be considering, whether that's upgrading your power grid or even building another dome. The game will help you to figure out what to do next. My final positive point is that this game has incredible replay value, meaning that the game basically welcomes you to come back and play it again. After playing the game for several hours, I can honestly say that I genuinely want to come back and play this game again. This is because the game has so much content and so much for you to figure out yourself. You want to come back and play it another time so that you can master all the small, intricate features that the game has to offer. Now we're going to move on to some of the negative points. I personally haven't had any problems with this, so your mileage may vary, but lots of the reviews for this game complain about how buggy the game is, and a common bug after playing the game for a long time called the autosave bug. I've seen multiple reports complaining about this feature. Basically, after playing for an incredibly long amount of time, when the autosave is triggered, it never stops. You are frozen and you cannot cancel the autosave, and you cannot do anything whilst it's autosaving, which means you can't close the game as you'll lose your progress because the save file will corrupt. There's no way out of this bug and it's quite rough for the people that experience it. Another poor factor matter about the game is that the controls leave much to be desired. The hotkeys for this game are lackluster and almost non-existent. Some building hotkeys would be highly welcomed, and maybe changing some of the current hotkeys like the speeding up and slowing down of time. Similar to Sims, I prefer to press 1, 2 and 3 for the time speeds rather than plus and minus to speed them up and slow them down. Some of the hotkeys are also poorly placed, as there have been many complaints that people have accidentally pressed some hotkeys, like to bring up the building menu. For some reason, that hotkey is right click, and when right clicking different tasks and infrastructure to inspect it, you accidentally bring up the build menu. It sounds like a small problem, it really is, but it's just one of those small things that just gets to you. Overall, Surviving Mars is an incredibly complicated and enjoyable strategy simulation game, and I mean that genuinely. Yes, the game is complicated, but that doesn't mean that it's not enjoyable. I recommend that you all go and give this game a try to see if it's one of those that you enjoy. If you like city building games like SimCity or City Skylines, this game is going to be right up your street. The game is even published by the same people that publish City Skylines. Or equally, if you're interested in space exploration and colonization, or just even Mars, I recommend that you play this game. The game is basically an Elon Musk simulator. Well, thanks guys for watching. That about wraps it up. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe so that you do not miss any future related videos like finding your favourite Games Pass game. Also, check out my other social medias down below in the description and comment any questions or queries that you may have. If you want me to review a particular game, please comment down below and I'll definitely take it into account. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day. Ciao.